shake, shake, shake it up and make it fizz. If that's what you want.
I know you're excited for the release of Jungle Cruise, starring
Boy, am I.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah. And Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You used to be a huge Emily Blunt fan. Do not get me wrong.
No,
Why are you rolling your eyes?
I just played that gif of her walking down the stairs in Charlie Wilson's War over and over and over again.
Oh, right. That's all it was. Mm-hmm.
I have my questions about, somebody that could be that close to John Krasinski for that long. But are you excited for... I guess...
Well, do you care to delve more into that?
Just because our worlds, our Venn diagram is a circle. It reminds me of the recent mid-season finale of Sailor Moon that we watched, where the Sailor Moon is in love with Tuxedo Mask.
Yes.
Who is, I guess they're allies, but they are sort of mysterious forces. And then they're fighting a pair of aliens who are brother and sister. Don't worry about that because they're lovers, but also they love, respectively, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask. Mm-hmm. So they're like, kill them! And then their plant that is going to kill them starts killing them. They're like, we didn't think this through. Stop killing them!
Yeah, right, yeah. Exactly.
So I guess I can get Emily and you can have John.
I don't think
your favorite.
I don't think I want him anymore, but thanks.
Oh, well, I guess then you've learned what love truly is.
Yeah.
It's a warm feeling inside.
A warm, fuzzy feeling.
Well, maybe you'll love the new and improved Jungle Cruise ride.
Wait, what?
Did you see this? You hear about this? Hey, you see it?
Oh my God, Leno. No, I did not.
They're going to redesign Disney World's Jungle Cruise ride.
What, so it's more like the film?
Well, probably, but also because, and this has been, I rode the Jungle Cruise in 1985.
Sure.
And never looked back, so I don't know anything. A hippopotamus jumps out at you. That's all I remember.
I don't even remember ever
and it smells
riding
terrible.
Jungle Cruise. Well,
maybe they cleaned
it
up, but the water is, it's stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to clean it up because people have been complaining for years because it is not aged well. Because there are scenes of natives, no, the natives,
right.
they're shooting arrows at us. They're threatening, and backwards,
right?
And people are finally like, maybe we should change that up.
Yeah,
and
seems good. Seems like a good choice.
Yeah, well, it's like they've turned Splash Mountain into the Song of the South or whatever, right? Which is so ironic because it was going to be, hold on, they turned it into the Tiana Princess and the Frog ride.
Yes.
Because I screwed my own story up.
I was going to say,
because it started off as Song of the South, and they're like, "Whoa, no, Uncle Remus, you're fired."
Right.
And then they made it Splash Mountain, and now it's going to be the Tiana ride, and it's like, not better.
Maybe not better.
You kind of just turned it back into Song of the South, huh?
Yeah, maybe just have it not be associated with a film.
Yeah.
How about that? And have...
It'd be like if the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which they did update to feature Jack Sparrow and axe out his actual character.
Okay. All right.
Who is this person? It'd be like if they went,
I don't know.
Times have changed, we're going to change this. And now it's just like, the Hall of Spousal Abuse. And it's just like Jack Sparrow characters just whack, whack, whack.
My God,
hitting blonde women.
Yeah, I don't really want any part of this. Why is this funny to you?
Should this exist? Should Disney World period exist? A churro's $13. Anyway,
I don't know. I mean, it's like
after reading this,
a palace to capitalism. Like, what do you want? I mean,
isn't
it? I mean, you have isn't there
it's
like
a palace
an entrance
it's a palace to
fee
the prostitution of art. Like, where's the Ibby Works memorial or whatever? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or all the. Actually, no, he hated Jews. I was going to say Jewish animators. He had to work with the Jewish animators. They were the best animators, but he hated them. It's a palace to the tramping up of art and childlike joy. But when I read this, I immediately went back and watched that Jungle Cruise trailer, which had gone straight through my head. I didn't remember a thing from it, except for Jesse Plemons is just dressed up like a goof. And I watched it and I realized there are no indigenous people anywhere in this. It's not like The Rock has
Huh.
like a second in command
sure.
or something that
Right.
is an African guy. What jungle is it? Where? It's just CGI. Everything they face is a CGI monster. And I'm not saying that we need like,
Was that a choice?
yes,
Seems like that
for
was
this
a choice.
same reason.
Yeah.
So I don't think that erasure is the best way. And you could go, The Rock's black. Yeah, The Rock is black. But there are no peoples in it at all.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
right.
Tarzan, not fantastic. White guy goes to Africa, and Africa is better than anybody's ever Africa'd. But at least, like, he's absorbing the culture and he's living with the people, and they're like, I don't know, we let this loud white guy live with us. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can do like the recent like movie that was not great, the Tarzan movie.
Yeah.
I felt like was okay with that, except for the fact that it had like two straw-colored transparent leads.
Yeah, well.
They were cool on the African thing, but this is just like they go to an Africa that has no human beings, only digital wildlife.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird, inaccurate depiction.
Why this?
I don't know.
You could have got The Rock and Emily Blunt for anything. Why?
Yes.
Why the Jungle Cruise? Why that?
That is a fantastic question. I mean, and it's not like you had already, like we were talking about, like changed up the ride and made it more attractive. No, you were waiting, I guess, until like the movie came out to announce you were doing that. I don't understand.
I think everybody forgot that Jungle Cruise existed, except for some Disney Films exec who's like, "That's our next one. That's our next one."
It's just like they were going
It's too early to remake Mission to Mars, so we'll just do that.
Well, it's like somebody at Disney, a Disney exec, was like going through a list of all their rides because Pirates of the Caribbean, that was a movie, that was a ride first, that was a movie, and that went well. So let's do another one of those.
But we're not going to see a Jungle Cruise 2 on Stranger Tides,
Probably not.
on Stranger Currents.
They're betting hard, but maybe they should have gone.
Are they? This
I don't
probably should have come
know.
out last year.
I don't know. What's another famous Disney ride that
The
we
Hall
don't want to
of
do?
Presidents.
We don't want to do Space Mountains. The Hall of Presidents has problems too, though, because I think as we've talked about this,
It's only like 7 slave owners on that stage.
yeah, right, exactly. Like a lot of our presidents, if not most, a high percentage are problematic, if not just for being slave owners, but for other
being
reasons as
presidents.
well.
Yeah.
And
In 1964,
Yeah.
and you have to start designing it before that, I guess. But in 1964, honoring a president seemed like a really great idea.
It seemed like a great idea
even
at the
though
time.
Everybody hated Jack Kennedy because he came from bootlegger money and he was a Catholic. And
Right, he was a
and
Catholic,
into
which is the
mob, and
worst
he was
thing
doing,
ever.
Marilyn Monroe. And he screwed up the Bay of Pigs. But as soon as he got shot, it was like, oh my God, no! The Hall of Presidents. So yeah, so it's closed right now because they're adding Joe Biden. But maybe just turn it into like a Frozen stage show or something like that.
I read something that like they were talking about maybe taking Trump out of there because of what happened at the Capitol. But somebody was positing like
it depends on how things go in Palm Beach, don't you think?
Well, largely,
I don't think they'll
yes.
take him out.
But like, is this a good? They were positing, is this a good idea? Is this, should we have this ride anymore?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know that we should. I think maybe we shouldn't.
It's not a ride. If it was a ride,
you're
that'd
right.
be cool.
And
you got like Lyndon Johnson is just like smacking, Herbert.
So
Hoover.
wait, is it just like wax statues and you walk through it, or is it like you
the kids from Small World with the presidents?
What?
So it's just like, yeah, it's a small world.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
They're just bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
And the kids are on the stage and they're like, 407 years ago.
That would be entertaining in a weird sort of way.
Upon this land.
Yeah.
A new ride. That's my idea.
It's a small government after all.
It is. And we're doing a show about it. It's called the Just Enough Trope Podcast. I'm your host, Caliban, joined as always by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Mikan Hana.
Here to bring you all the news that's fit to cast in the world of nerdy entertainment.
Yes.
Last week, we were touching the front part of the E. Now the needle buried.
What do you mean?
We're on the back, the left part of the E. On the gauge, F to E, we are all the way down to E and going down farther.
We are below empty is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I'm sick. There's something wrong with me, and I refuse to go to the doctor, and I really gotta...
That's a problem.
But, like, every day I wake up, and, like, you know, everybody's tired, right? But, like...
Yes.
But I can't drag myself out of bed. So I need to get that looked at. More updates as that develops.
Wow.
Or grows inside me, whatever
Stop
it
it
is. But yeah, I feel blown out, you know?
Do you think there's something with your thyroid or something like that?
No.
Because that can like screw up your rhythm.
Well, let's not
and stuff
diagnose
like
me on air. I just wanted to
Fair.
bring the listeners in, but you
Okay.
wanted to go, no, there's nothing.
I'm not like WebMDing you or anything.
No,
So
you would, no, my neck is, because it'd be right here, right?
I don't know.
This is where your thyroid is.
I you know more than I do.
It's fine.
Okay.
My
All
cat,
right.
my cat had a thyroid problem.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. Your friend's cat has a thyroid
Yes.
problem, which is
Yes.
why you're using your friend's pet to diagnose me.
I am not.
I mean,
that
I
was
did-
not what I was doing.
I did really want to get that toy out from under the couch, and I was down there for a while, but I don't think this is
True.
a valid
That's true.
diagnosis.
Okay.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to not diagnose someone.
Fair.
Do you know about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I don't think I even
They're
know
starting
who
to call her
that is.
MTG, like AOC, but it's more like MTG is Magic the Gathering. So if she wants to be that, I guess she can be that. She's a
okay.
representative from Georgia.
Okay.
She is Trumpist, QAnon, far right,
Great.
everything. Like, I know that, like, even
You don't get a cool
minorities
nickname
are
for me.
minorities. I know
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
right? So
Right.
even Georgia, you know, African Americans are a minority in that state, even though there is a lot more,
How is that even possible?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't, where do these people come from? It's
don't
gerrymandering,
know.
right? It's
Yeah.
gerrymandering that creates speaking of straw-colored people, transparent, racist person who has literally threatened other, you know, representatives and current members, you know, the locked in GOP House constituency. There are sections of it that are like, all right, she's making us look bad. Come on. Like, it's fine to be flat earth or whatever, but we can't even get anything done here. So, yeah, she's in trouble right now. But something that she said recently that is just, we are so inured to crazy things that
Oh, boy.
crazy things just, the holes in the net are huge and they just go right through.
Yeah.
But she said recently that the 2018 California fires were started by an orbital laser platform controlled by the Rothschild family.
What?
Jewish space lasers.
Oh, I don't know who the
I'm sorry.
Rothschild family is,
I didn't-
but what?
I'm not going to help you with that. You're just going to have to look it up on your own.
Okay.
It's going to be disappointing.
Okay.
I didn't know Mel Brooks was writing 2021.
It sounds like something from a Mel Brooks
It would be
movie.
funny if it wasn't so insanely hateful. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
But,
I know what you mean.
But the thing about this crazy cast of kooks and characters is that they're all they're the avatar of votes. Somebody
Yeah,
put them there.
I know.
So there are a lot of crazy kooky people. Or they just like the show. I think that's what we learned from the Trump years, right? Is that some
Mm-hmm.
people just like the show. Like, we're storming the Capitol. What do we want? I don't even know what we want. You want to cut Mike Pence's head off? Okay, I'm not really here for that, but
Right.
I'll take this this pen set or whatever from Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Right.
So it makes me angry for
yeah.
a lot of reasons.
Yes.
And the only way that we as a entertainment podcast can fight back and spit in the eye of this is to celebrate the Jewish people.
Yes.
And you know where I'm going, and you already know that the wheels are leaving the road.
Yep.
And we decided
I'm just
to
going
do
to let
that
you finish.
in possibly not the most appropriate way, but in a way that is fitting to our idiom, which is watching
Sure.
the 2019 movie Uncut Gems,
Yeah.
created and written by and directed by
The
a pair
Safdie
of Jewish brothers,
Yeah.
starring one of the most famous Jews in Hollywood,
Adam Sandler.
and a whole panoply of other Jewish actors.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an uplifting. It's not Schindler's List 2,
Absolutely.
but it is
not.
a critically acclaimed, excellent film that was completely skunked at the 2019 Oscars.
Was it completely skunked?
No nominations.
How is it? No nominations.
That's why Adam Sandler said, I hope you want to see Jack and Jill too, because that's what's coming next, huh?
Oh my God.
That's the last time I behaved for you.
Wow.
Now, he would have absolutely lost to Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, but didn't he deserve a nomination?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
a movie that is now 18 months old, but none of us count 2020, right? That year didn't exist for us.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what this is. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. Late, but belated, but appreciated.
Yes.
And take that. I wish Jews had space lasers. You know?
I would take a space laser. Sure. I would use a space laser.
I would. What would I do with a space laser?
I think maybe this is too dark.
I would carve my name on the moon.
Oh, okay.
First off.
All right. Well, there you go.
Let the future inhabitants of
I
the
would,
wasteland wonder who Caliban is.
I would set fire to the QAnon lady's lawn.
Oh, you're going to make her right.
Yeah. Just her lawn, though, not her house. I don't want anybody to actually get hurt. And the fire, I'll call the fire trucks, make sure they're on standby, and they'll be like, "What is this?" And I'll be like, "Just you'll know." And
I'd take out the Jungle Cruise.
okay, that's better.
Yeah.
I'd take out the Hall of Presidents.
We don't need those. All of History Town or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Frontierland or whatever.
Right.
It's gone.
Yep, it's gone now.
No, shoot it at the Epcot ball. Disco party for the world.
Aww.
The whole world.
Isn't there a ride in the Epcot ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's that great of a ride. It's just one of those ones that you ride around in tracks in, and they're animatronic like characters and stuff like that.
It's pretty amazing. Like, I don't know what Walt Disney was. I haven't seen that movie with Tom Hanks, but whatever he was on, just the gumption.
The animatronics.
Was he snorting animatronics? I don't know these drugs. But just like I want a giant ball. Oh, great. We can do that. No problem. No, hold on.
Yeah, right.
There's going to be a ride. Cars are going to move around inside of the
I
ball.
know.
What are you talking about? Walt.
It looks like a giant golf ball is what it looks like.
Yeah, kind of.
It's what it looks like.
Kind of.
And like maybe it was like, ooh, futuristic and what is this? Like in the 60s and whatever. But it just kind of, it's like, all right. Anyways.
We saw the movie Tomorrowland, right?
No.
I did. I've seen it.
Okay. All right. I have not.
It is basically about like what if Epcot was real and Walt Disney was George Clooney and
yeah, I've seen the trailer. I just haven't actually seen the movie.
It's terrible.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a terrible film. And it's a Brad Bird. And you know how, like, everybody kind of jokes and there's like those funny YouTube essay videos about how, like, well, it seems like the Incredibles universe is awfully objectivist. It's like, I have superpowers and they're mine by right. And you can't tell me, why should society be able to tell me what car I can and can't lift and throw? And you're like, oh, okay, all right. But it's really just Watchmen, though, right? It's kind of like what Watchmen is. And then he makes Tomorrowland. And it's literally about, like, a better race of people that go off to a special island, or in this case, universe, to, like, solve the dumb world's problems, and we need them. And it's like, yeah, that's Atlas Shrugged. That is exactly Atlas Shrugged.
What is he trying to say?
I don't know.
I'm confused. Like, okay. I don't know. Do you think that he is better at doing animated stuff than live action stuff, or do you think this is just a bad film?
No, it's a terrible film.
Yeah. But like, do you think he should stick to animation, or do you think maybe he could do live action stuff, just not this?
I don't know how long we want to go on this, but I always wonder what the director brings to an animated feature, because there are so many things that are out of his control. Obviously, he's the overseeing creative force.
Right.
And often it's two men on Disney animated films and Pixar films. But, I often wonder, like, how that control is exerted, or if a lot of it is just... Because we've seen, like... watch a lot of YouTube. We've seen other videos where, with specific animators, and they're like, well, for Olaf, I just wanted to give him this feel of, like, this and that. And so, like, I was like, oh, he's going to go over here, he's going to do that. I don't see Andrew Stanton in there anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't... That's that animator's choice to make that character. Now, obviously, at the end of the day... I don't know who directed Frozen, but like if you bring it to the guy that directed Frozen and he's like, I don't think so. All right, that's control. But otherwise, it's just like all the Star Wars characters in Star Wars. George Lucas didn't create those. He hired
Yeah.
teams of very
understand
talented
what you're
artistic
saying.
designers who then came to him and he went, "Yeah, I like that. I don't like that. I like that."
I don't know.
So it's his vision, but it's helped by a lot of people. So as far as like Brad Bird goes, I didn't enjoy his Mission Impossible. A lot of people kind of liked it, but I think they were just more like, I think people supposedly like the J.J. Abrams one too, but nobody really talks about it. But I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
I'm not sure he's such a great director.
Which numbers are which?
But he certainly is good at inspiring people to do animation well. Look at what's it, Wall-E, right? One of your favorite Pixar movies. That's an Andrew Stanton joint.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. And then he did John Carter of Mars, which is like
Not
a
great.
gigantic flop. Well, actually, I'm the crazy person. I don't think it's that bad. But I will admit that you don't spend $200 million on that. Like, it's going to be a controversial movie.
Yeah.
When you ask these questions, you get me going, and we could do this all night.
I don't know. I feel like with Ghibli movies, I feel like I've seen stuff with Miyazaki, and like maybe he's just I don't know.
Started.
Maybe I know. Maybe that's different, and like that's a very small like in-house thing, and maybe that's different from Pixar because a lot of it's like hand drawn and everything. But I think he has a lot of say over his films, and like saying like this is the feel that I want in this, and like if he doesn't like what you do, he'd be like no, not like this,
right? But understating a little, but you could make a Miyazaki movie in one room. I think an animated feature like a Pixar movie is going to take hundreds of people.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So it's a little bit harder to control.
Okay. Well, two people can do the news, and they're going to do it now. Sort of sad news from the music world. Did you know that Sophie passed away? Do you know who Sophie is?
I don't know who Sophie is.
Sophie Zion, known just as Sophie.
Okay.
Was a musician. She was Scottish, I believe.
Okay.
She's a musician, producer, songwriter. Worked with acts like Madonna, Charlie XCX, Vince Staples, and had just had a album in 2018 of her own that came out. Young talent, going places. Electronic pop.
How old was she?
Type thing. 34.
That's really sad.
And she apparently, it was an accident. She slipped and fell, and died.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, like how? That sounds awful. Like, should she like slip and fall and like hit her head really hard or something like that?
Her label released a statement saying that she was climbing up to look at the moon and she slipped and fell and died.
Climbing, I have so many questions about this, but we're not gonna, there's no way to know. Like, climbing up where? Like, was she climbing a mountain or like up her house, up on the roof? Like, I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
screw you, moon. I mean, like, what?
I mean, accidents, are accidents.
I know. It's just,
why did
it's really unfortunate.
Jeff Buckley go swimming? Do you know what I mean?
I know. I know.
So yeah, it's just sad. I mean, you don't know. I was not super familiar with her. I'd heard of her, but I couldn't pick one of her songs out necessarily. But just really, and as a trans person, she was like
oh, come on.
a real advocate for that.
I didn't know that she was also trans.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just sad.
So anyway, if you want to, it's like that, better late than never type thing. But if you want to check out her music, it's all, I've been listening to it just this past weekend and really enjoying it. Her most recent album is called Oil of Every Pearl's on Insides. Take that, Fiona Apple.
Well, it sounds very poetic.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing. Like, it's just a real kind of trippy, but like just kind of fun pop, and yeah, it's too bad. I don't know. It's sad when anybody dies, but I think it's that much sadder when it's somebody who's young and. Well, then you won't feel too bad about the fact that.
Oh no! Don't set me up that way.
Hilton Valentine, a founding guitarist for the Animals, has died at 77.
Don't tell me I won't feel bad. I'll still feel bad.
No, it still sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our RIP section of the show. The Animals, of course, an English band. I guess technically they're part of the English Invasion, right?
Sure.
From Newcastle on Tyne, and known for their cover of The House of the Rising Sun.
Okay.
And he was the original guitarist on that.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear it. I mean, we have this at the beginning of the show as a way to honor people.
Yes.
But it also, like, I feel like it always, like, depresses me. And then we go on with the news, and I try to be mindful of that and try to not let myself be depressed for the rest of the show. It's not funny. I'm tired because of how frequently we seem to be doing that this last year. It's been a lot.
Yeah. And the Animals they're another one of those bands that, like, it's kind of like the Zombies in that they were broken up almost by the time they
hit it big.
Yeah, because you'll hear
I've heard of them before.
You'll hear their Rising Sun all the time, but
Sure.
the band, like, in the original format, was, like, dead by the end of the 60s. Like 68,
Sure.
they were done.
Right.
They have a cover of Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood that's pretty good too.
Okay.
So, yeah. So let's move on to some, if not happier, at least different news.
Okay.
Did you know that David Lynch does weather reports?
What? No.
Yeah.
No, shut up.
Somebody showed him the internet, and almost every day he comes on and he sits at his little desk.
No,
and he says,
shut up.
"Hello, good morning. It's 72 degrees in Los Angeles, a beautiful day." And then sometimes he'll talk about more stuff.
Is this live or is it like recorded?
He had an XM show, and I don't know if he still does, but I've watched these on YouTube. He's got these on YouTube.
Okay.
And recently, actually, I think today when we're recording this, in the middle of one, he was talking about the weather. And he's like, "The sun is shining, and it's the low 60s, still nice in LA. I'm going to make a big announcement tomorrow on February 1st.
What?
And the birds are singing." So,
oh my God.
we're a little
in the
early with the
Lynchian
news,
way.
but he's making some kind of huge announcement apparently on his show tomorrow. So
Okay,
I guess we'll be
that's
talking about that
fantastic.
next week. Nobody knows what this is in reference to.
Of course not.
We do
He's
know
very cryptic.
that he has a deal with Netflix, and we don't know what for. It's been rumored that it's for a show called Wisteria, but we don't know anything else about it. If it's a David Lynch reboot of Desperate Housewives, I'm in for that.
Sure.
Because wasn't Desperate Housewives just trying to be David Lynch for the
more
for the
palatable.
Karen set?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he wants to redo it David Lynch style,
Yeah, sure. Why
I'm
the
in.
hell? This is something I have to. One of my sisters is a huge Lynch fan, specifically Twin Peaks. So I'm gonna have to let her know about this because I think she would A, enjoy watching him do the weather, and B, want to tune in for his
he doesn't like stand in front of a.
I
thing or
know,
something. It's
but
very-
like
he's just at a little wooden desk.
But
basically.
in his own, like, does he? I don't know. I'm just imagining him doing it as his character from Twin Peaks, but I'm sure it's maybe not that dramatic.
Character. What?
With a hearing aid. So, yeah.
It's funny that, of course, we haven't really dug into it too much on this show because I don't care and I think it's unhealthy. But of course, everybody knows about the GameStop drama that's going on right now. And
you can't not know about it unless
the
you
place
live under a rock.
that it intersected with
or in a cave.
me and my business was, I was like, maybe we should watch a Wall Street film.
Yes.
To talk about, ironically.
Yep.
Well, it turns out that's tough to do. Many of what people would think of as the key Wall Street films are not available on most streaming services. I don't think it's a conspiracy.
Why is
I think
that?
we're just at a point where, the fullness of time, this is the emptiness of time. Let me write down the show title, and then we'll move on. They're just not there. So, like The Big Short, it isn't on any of the major services. You can watch it on. You can watch it on Crackle.
What?
With ads.
Of course.
And it's a Paramount film, so it's theorized that they're waiting for the launch of Paramount Plus at the beginning of March to, they're resting it until they open up the vault.
Okay.
The Wolf of Wall Street, Can't Be Found, another Paramount film. Boy,
Okay.
Paramount likes these.
Paramount likes Wall Street.
films,
That's
yeah.
what I'm learning.
Boiler Room is not on any streaming service.
Hmm.
That's the Vin Diesel one.
Okay.
Here's a line from the film. You're in a boiler room now. I don't know.
Family.
That's the boiler room. Wall Street is not on Disney Plus. It's a Fox movie, and they have not released it on Disney Plus because why would it be on Disney Plus?
Yeah, it's not really family oriented.
They already have problems with Daryl Hannah's butt.
Yeah.
They don't do that again.
Oh my god.
I'm just assuming you see Daryl Hannah's butt in that movie.
Probably. Yeah. Is her hair long enough that you can add more? Visually,
Or maybe Charlie
really
Sheen's
bad.
butt. Maybe Charlie Sheen's butt. And he's got big Charlie Sheen hair coming down.
Right.
He's got the Hot Shots Do mullet to cover his butt.
I like it.
Let me write down what the Photoshop is
Yeah,
for this
right.
show. So, so there you go. Joke's on us. We can ruin the hedge funds, but we can't watch the movies about hedge funds.
Wow. Okay. Seems like Wall Street doesn't want you talking about them, is what I say. We're watching them.
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
Okay.
If we're going to discount Jewish space lasers, we have to stop this one too.
I mean, it's not like they stopped the movies from being made or anything. So
yeah.
Okay.
Expensive Jewry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I know you're very excited about that joke.
That's the secret title of this episode, Conspiracy Heads.
But
I think that would get pulled from iTunes.
I would pull that from iTunes.
Can you do your disclaimer?
I am a Jew, so it's okay. So therefore we can make Jewish jokes because I am a Jew.
If that's how it works. I have no idea.
I think that's how it works. I don't know.
Speaking of Paramount films, J.J. Abrams, who, boy, where's that guy been? Other than ruining Star Wars movies.
That's his job.
Apparently we are going to do a Cloverfield sequel at Paramount.
Did anybody want that? Is that something that people want?
First one did okay. Kind of surprised they didn't jump on that, but I think they are. Paramount is just always rushing to catch up, aren't they? And now that Universal, just by sheer force of will, is going to make monster movies a thing again,
They?
Yeah, everybody. Look, everybody got so excited for the King Kong Godzilla thing. Nobody I know cares about King Kong Godzilla films.
No,
but we have literally nothing else to get excited about, so let them fight.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
What happens? Plot synopsis of Cloverfield.
I've never seen it. I have no freaking clue.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I know
Who
nothing.
did I see that with?
Not me. So, when did the first one come out?
2008.
Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't me.
Well, anyway.
What is it about? Let me ask you.
It's about a giant monster.
Okay.
But it's really about 4 annoying kids that you want to die.
Is John Goodwin in that?
No, he's in the Cloverfield. No, he's in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh,
which
that's
is
what I was thinking of. I think I've seen a trailer of
This
that.
is so insidious. It's there are spiritual sequels, or there are films that are in the Cloverfield universe.
What?
Because Bad Robot produces them.
Uh-huh.
It's a script that has nothing to do with Cloverfield, and then you put 2 seconds of a Cloverfield monster in it, and suddenly it's a Cloverfield movie. It's kind of like
Why
Only
would you? What?
Every single film after Die Hard in the Die Hard series did not start as a Die Hard film. So
What?
Die Hard 2 was a different story about terrorists at an airport, and
Which I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any of the other
not gonna
Die Hard
ruin anything.
movies. Okay.
20th Century Fox or whoever did, it's Fox because of Nakatomi Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
Fox bought the script and then just changed hero name to John McClane, and it was a John.
Oh, I understand what you're saying now. You're saying the scripts originally were Die Hard movies. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Does he? I hope. Well, of course he doesn't die in that movie, but I was just reminded of
Spoilers.
Well, because there's more of them. I'm just guessing. I was just reminded of 12 Monkeys, where he gets. I mean, spoiler for a movie that we talked.
Wow.
You know, like where he gets shot at an airport. Anyways, moving on. Pleasant stuff. This show.
I'm thinking of other Bruce Willis in airport movies.
Are there other ones?
There has to be.
I don't know.
Remember in Love Actually when he gets the bazooka out and he's like, you're never gonna make it to that.
Maybe I would actually like Love Actually if that happened. So
that Love Actually is missing explosions. I will say that. Here's good news. Well, we know the premiere date for Justice League Snyder Cut on
All
HBO
right.
Max.
Let's
It's
hear it.
March 18th.
Okay.
And so
Day
we'll be
after
forced to
St.
watch
Patrick's
that
Day. Yeah.
for you, our listeners. I hope you appreciate it. But here's better news. Coming very soon in February,
Yeah.
all the other DC Universe animated stuff, they're porting it all
Yay.
into HBO Max. So you got Static Shock, you got your Justice League, you got your Justice League Unlimited. Batman the Animated Series is already on there.
Yeah. Batman. I need to watch that, I think. I haven't really watched enough of it.
Prepare yourself.
Why? Not good?
No, it is very good. But in the same way that if you watch a Humphrey Bogart movie and you're like, where are the explosions? Looks like the stuff that Dynamite's made of. You have to okay, all right, they're going to talk. All right, they're going to talk for a while. Okay. That's, that's kind of what it is.
That's okay.
I just watched the first couple episodes the other day, and it's the cat in the claws or the cat in the bat or whatever. And it's like, oh, Catwoman. Well, Batman, what about this? Well, I don't know.
No,
It's
it's
just
25% more talking.
All right. Yep. But then there's other parts that are really great. I forgot about this, but there's a new hero that they created just for the animated series named the Red Claw,
Okay.
who's an international terrorist. And she's like a 7-foot tall, buff chick. And her voice
She's
actress,
a tall bae.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we doing that still? I thought that was dead.
Yeah, well.
We got a lot of listens on that one, I think, just from the title. She's voiced by Kate Mulgrew, doing
What?
basically her Proto-Red character. So she's like, Batman, you will never stop us from killing everyone in Gotham City.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
Pre-Voyager,
Yeah.
post-Ryan's Hope. So there you go. Her career is interesting. There's a lot of ups and downs, very high highs, and then a lot of I don't know, I'm just gonna hang out.
I feel like a lot of, I'm not disparaging, but I feel like a lot of Trek actors, they do a really good job. They're good actors and they have excellent roles on Trek. And then it's like, now what? And then I feel like they don't necessarily have other roles that it's like they're remembered for Trek. And, not necessarily much of anything else.
You're right. Robert Duncan McNeil deserves way better.
Oh,
Let's move on to our next story.
I love how you pulled him out of everybody.
Garrett Wang, I gotta tell you,
wow.
that guy is going places.
Okay. All right.
Please
Moving
be on
on.
my show. Please be on my show, you guys. We talked about Army Hammer last week. Speaking of stories that seem funny but really aren't.
Was it last week? It was sometime.
Or the week before.
I don't know. What's
Army Hammer is a knocking on your door.
What the crap is going on with him now?
He has left the making of the Godfather drama series that is in development at Paramount Plus. This is the movie that is not a documentary about the making of Godfather.
What?
It is a dramatized version of
What?
them. And yeah, and I think Oscar Isaac is going to play Coppola or something like that, wasn't it?
Is that right?
It's perfect casting, right?
Oh my god, I don't know.
He would eat that alive.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know this was
It's a 10
thing.
it's a 10 episode series.
Okay.
The official title is The Offer.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
it's just about making the first movie?
yeah, it's about the process of getting the film made.
Okay. All right. I did not know that was a thing. I guess that's kind of hot right now.
Yeah. Well, if you ever watch Hearts of Darkness, that's almost as good as Apocalypse Now. That's a great documentary.
Whoa.
And so I imagine something like that, only, rewind the clock, fast forward the clock, rewind the clock, for, The Godfather 1.
Well, I was thinking, what was that?
Who is playing Mario Puzo? That's what
I was thinking of the movie we watched recently with Gary Oldman that was about the making of Citizen Kane. What's that called?
It's called Mank, and now
Mank.
looking back, that sucked, didn't it?
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not great.
No.
And it's not look, just do a YouTube video. People go, his performance is so great. Great, do a YouTube video. You know, just work up your character, read all your lines, then I can do it out in 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. But like, it's just a whole big dumb movie. And who
It's
cares?
so long, and I know.
I mean, I like old Hollywood stuff as well. And even while we were watching it, I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so. He was the head of MGM or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's boring. Who cares? It just wasn't that great.
I mean, it's...
And
Yeah,
I
okay.
think they really tamped down like the leftist politics in it. Because really, like, that's what it was about, right? It wasn't just that like he was a kind of eccentric guy who wrote Citizen Kane and then got swindled out of half the credit.
Right.
Like, he was like sponsoring... Jews in World War II, and he was like a philanthropist, and he
Which
was like,
they mention in one offhand comment, and they don't go back to it at all.
and he was like, and he was a supporter of like Upton Sinclair, who they cast Bill Nye as Upton Sinclair, and then you just see the back of his head.
I know. He could have been a whole character in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been like a Chinatown for like that era of politics.
Absolutely.
In the San Fernando Valley. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Chinatown,
Yeah.
I don't have a news story.
Oh, okay.
I need to watch that again.
Yeah.
See if that is any good still.
Well, when was the last time we watched that? That wasn't that long ago, was it? It was a couple of years ago now.
Probably.
It was still good then, but
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's a film that you can watch right now. It's called Promising Young Woman.
Uh-huh.
And the Variety
Oh, boy.
review
I know what you're saying.
thought that Carey Mulligan wasn't hot enough.
Boo hiss to the reviewer. Like, what are you, why? Why is this in your written critique of the film? This should not be, why are we still critiquing how women look in film? Period.
Why
is that a thing?
I don't know.
It irks me. You notice how you would never hear a reviewer talk about how,
Gary Oldman's not hot enough to
yeah,
play
right,
Joseph
exactly,
Mankiewicz.
right. You would never hear that. You would just never hear it. It's just...
Yeah, there isn't really an excuse. And to Variety's credit, it ran in Variety. It was a freelance critic. So watch yourselves, freelancers. But Variety did... I'm reading this story on Variety. Variety not only published an apology, but they also did an entire story about her response to it. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that, like, they're a news outlet. This is news. They're not really part of the conversation. They're just reporting the news, even if it involves them. But they did
They're
kind of
trying to do their
come
due
clean about
diligence,
it.
at least as it appears to be so.
Whether the critic, I'm sure he's got a blog, whether he posted an apology, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I read something about this too, and her critique was just like, criticism should be constructive, and I totally
Be hotter.
get that. Oh, yeah, that's not
That's
like
their criticism.
yeah, that's like what are you trying to say? Did you like the film? What did you think about my portrayal of character blah? I just
Did you think that there was going to be Tomb Raider news in 2021?
no.
You were wrong, baby!
Okay.
Apparently, Alicia Vikander will be strapping on the 45s. Double D's. That's the joke you have to make, right?
Yeah, sure.
If you hate yourself.
Sure.
And doing another Tomb Raider.
Okay. I don't think I saw her first Tomb Raider, to be perfectly honest. Did you?
No,
Okay.
I don't care at all.
Okay.
But I report the news.
Oh, yeah, I know. So that's happening. So
Is it fit? I suppose it is.
I guess
We're
it
reporting
is.
it.
Yeah, right.
The big news is that Misha Green will be helming this new sequel.
I have no clue who that is.
Misha Green?
Yeah.
Director.
Yeah, I got that, but I don't know who they are. I don't know what else they've directed.
She is...
Oh, she?
Yes, she is the showrunner, and I don't know if she created it or just runs it, but she runs Lovecraft Country.
Oh, okay.
And she is the creator of the historical drama Underground,
Okay.
which is about the Underground Railroad.
Okay.
So I think it's great that a black woman will be directing this movie.
Yeah.
I just don't know. First of all, why are we making this movie?
Why is this
Who cares?
happening? Yeah.
But why
Right.
is Misha Green wasting her talent on this movie?
Yeah, I don't
Anyway, good luck to everyone.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a lot of support from the new Netflix series about Godzilla and Tomb Raider.
What?
Legendary Pictures, who's the company behind Skull Island and Tomb Raider, will have new anime series on Netflix about Tomb Raiders and King Kongs on Skull Islands.
So this is one show.
No, it's not. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a perfect crossover, isn't it? Like, Lara Croft should discover Godzilla.
Yeah, or like King Kong
She'd be
or
like,
something like that.
He'd make a great pair of shoes.
Oh my god!
Just like I meant James Bond, but dumber. That's Lara Croft.
Yeah. Okay.
She's an icon. Whatever. So we'll see. Boy, Netflix out there with the anime, still not stopping. Never stop. Not stopping.
No. Okay. Is any of the Netflix anime good?
No.
Then why are they
People like the
doing it?
Castlevania, but I think that people
Yeah.
just like Castlevania.
That could be.
And Warren Ellis.
I see a bunch of different stills for that, and I'm like, is this the same characters? Like, I have no idea what's going on.
Well, and it's very short too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I should just give it a shot because it's so short.
Yeah, maybe.
That's how I like my entertainment. That's why Bazooka Joe is the greatest character in all of fiction.
Right.
Speaking of
joke, haha, gum. Anyways,
I didn't know we were going to get a staged reading, an interpretive performance of Joe Bazooka.
I do it again.
Speaking of Japanese people, kind of. There was anime.
Okay, all right.
Tell us what's going on with the Japanese government and this cosplay thing. This is nuts.
Okay, all right. You kind of put me on the spot with this, but I've read a little bit about this. But it basically, the Japanese government is trying to decide and put laws into place right now on whether or not you can cosplay as recognizable characters and get paid to do so. And I think
it's a
maybe
copyright thing.
It's a copyright thing.
It's bullshit.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, there is a very famous cosplayer in Japan who makes money doing it, who supposedly is working very closely with the government on this to try to figure it out and everything.
Somebody's selling all the other cosplayers out?
I don't know. Like, they make it seem like this is going to be a good thing for everybody and blah blah blah. But I don't know.
Kind of like the fan films that like were forced to like have to pretend to like working with Paramount.
Yeah, right.
So Paramount wouldn't like wipe out like everything they've done.
That might be what's going on. Like, maybe she's trying to work with them in a way so she can still make a living doing this, and she's trying to make it so it's not going to hurt everybody, but also looking out for her bottom line. I don't know.
You know what a Judas goat is?
I don't like it. What?
You know what a Judas goat is?
No, I don't.
The Judas goat is the goat that they send out and is like, bah, pretty cool. Come on over here, up this ramp into.
Oh my gosh.
The Judas goat lives because it leads the other animals to slaughter.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it kind of seems like that.
All right. Well,
I don't
this is
wanna
bullshit. And if you've learned anything from the
disparaging,
GameStop thing,
but, yeah.
The one thing we can learn from the GameStop thing is that collective action works. Mm-hmm. So as fans, maybe we need to organize a collective action against these rights holders.
I know.
Because I guarantee the people who barely eke out a living cosplaying are not hurting your bottom line.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
This happens every few years that people come after. Because you go to like, you've been to a con before.
Yeah,
Remember
sure.
that? In the dark backward and abysm of time?
Yeah. People.
Yeah.
I remember People.
Every single print that somebody sells is some IP that they don't own.
Absolutely.
I'm an artist. Here's my Sonic the Hedgehog drawing.
I can't even tell you how
And
much
Sega
yeah.
and Marvel and DC don't come in and bust everything up because they're like, look, I mean, people are they like our characters. They're going to run out and buy the next Sonic game or Superman comic book or whatever. How are we going to get a piece? There's no way to get a piece of that.
There's
no way to get a piece of that
Yeah.
without breaking everybody's legs. But the Japanese don't seem to understand that. And I hope they run up against a wall that shows them, oh, no, we can't do this.
Well, as you know, there are, and you've had experience with, there are certain IPs that seem to hire people to go
right,
out
but they're
and
going to
break
pass
people's
legislation
legs.
that means that
I know.
whether it's Batman or Johnny the Teenage Serial Killer, or I don't know, some small piece of IP, it's going to apply to everybody.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's not worth it.
No.
Give it up, Japan.
Give it up, Japan.
It's not worth it.
No. Why don't you spend all of that effort looking into ways
Why don't you build some more islands out of garbage?
Build more islands out of garbage. And I don't know. Like,
it wasn't racist. It was a little reductive. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know. There are you
Why
guys
don't you fix
have
your social services problems?
You guys have bigger problems.
Yeah.
Let me just put it that way.
Captain Insano Shinzo Abe.
Yeah.
Actually, he's gone. But
He's gone. He's not in power anymore.
not great.
No.
Let's talk about women, and let's talk about them doing sex scenes only when they're directed by other women, as Keira Knightley has announced that she will be doing from now on.
Okay. Fine. Great. You know, it's funny you should bring up Keira Knightley because I was watching Pride and Prejudice that she was in just the other day, and with music guru Tara, friend of the show, and we were like, where the heck is Keira Knightley? What the heck is she doing? She's
been doing stuff.
Yeah, but it's not like really high profile stuff. You know?
Well, I mean, work is work.
I guess.
If she would have said yes to Godzilla 5 or whatever, she could have been the lady that King Kong carries up a building.
She probably doesn't want to.
I think that she anymore. Look. I never would have thought I'd say this about the girl from Bend It Like Beckham, but I think she has a lot of artistic integrity, and you can't always predict whether this great idea that somebody has,
sure, or
the thing that you yourself are producing or directing or whatever is going to come out all right. But it's better than just going, "What next, boss?"
No, that's true.
You know, that's not to make it about men, but that's kind of Chris Evans' thing, right? Like, I'm sure he'd love to keep making films, but it's tough. It's tough to direct and produce your own films.
Yeah, sure.
And when Kevin Feige just goes, "All right, this time Captain America is going to lift a car," and you're like, "Okay. I'll lift that car."
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
Send the check to the usual place.
Yeah.
Like, that's easier than doing what Keira Knightley is doing.
I know.
And so I support her, even though I haven't really seen a lot of her films.
I mean, I support her too. I just would like to, I want to be more excited about the stuff.
She didn't want to do that fourth Pirates movie.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not blaming her.
And then none of them did the fifth one, right? That's
when
the whole cast jumped off.
Yeah.
Overboard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little joke about boats. Speaking of kind of questionable IP, looks like HBO Max is considering a Harry Potter spin-off series. A friend of mine on Twitter, name of Liz, made a great point, which was there are so many YA books, series that we could consider for development rather than taking this effed out, problematic thing. And I guess we really have to see the wizards poop on the floor to know it's real. Why this? If you're TV and you're HBO, you're not TV, you're HBO. Why this? TV has long been the drip pan for movie ideas and notoriety, right? The Welcome Back Kotter show, it was a movie first. It's not true. But why? Like, this is just so, I guess it's a TV show now. Then HBO Max is going to jump at the chance. I know it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think
so they don't want to do it.
Warner Brothers.
They don't want to do it.
What, HBO doesn't want to do it?
No, I'm sure that, I don't know a lot about the corporate structure of HBO, but I'm sure that, actually I do. Like, Dana Gold's wife was the head of it for a long time, or ex-wife. And so, they're making creative decisions. We want 57 tits up there. No, I don't know. All right, it's for adults. But they're making creative decisions and they're doing things that maybe aren't smart, or thought of as quote unquote smart. But now that it's all merged together and everything is vertically oriented and it's all under a conglomerate, you've got a streaming service, a bunch of other people move in with their box with potted plant, picture of the kids in it. And they're like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
oh no, you're going to do this. Like, well, we don't want to do that. That's dumb. We want to do another, historical thing or Lovecraft Country or something like that.
That's kind of what I think.
And it's probably like, no, we need 35% of this has to be like branded content.
It's probably some part of their deal.
The Alfred Pennyworth series,
right?
And whatever.
Right.
Ugh.
It's probably a part of their deal. That's what I think.
Just ruin everything.
Yeah. Well,
that's why Bazooka Joe is the most important character in fiction.
I mean, the thing is, yes, there is a lot of
Joe Blow? Is Joe Blow a thing?
Know.
Is that a competitor to Bazooka Joe? They got the same name.
I don't know. I thought Joe Blow was just like, Joe Blow. Like, that was just like somebody who was like a nobody or whatever.
Like a John Doe?
Yeah. I don't know. This is great pod.
You get what you paid for.
Yeah.
But you didn't pay anything, so you get nothing.
But there are a lot of really great YA novels out there that would make a great series. But the thing is, then you have to take a chance on it. And Harry Potter is a
HBO takes chances all day, every day.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Euphoria is a big chance.
It is.
Disney actress and a trans actress nobody's ever heard of.
Mm-hmm. And a bunch of other young kids nobody's ever heard of.
Right. Nobody's ever heard of any of these people. Mm-mm. And they're gonna, or Eric Dane was McSteamy, I guess. He's on the show. He's the biggest star on the show other than Zendaya. And they're all going to, be in this weird series that is going to ask you to accept a lot and go a lot of places. And 250,000 people watched it.
Mm-hmm. It's disappointing.
According to the Nielsen's.
I feel like...
But that's what they do.
I know.
Guess who's not going to watch this?
Who?
Thing I'm about to talk about.
Uh-oh.
Me.
Well, okay. What is this thing?
So we've got a huge casting list from the Sandman series.
Yep.
Also at HBO. Where is it?
I thought it was Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Of course it's at Netflix.
Yeah.
And here is what we've got. We've got Tom Sturridge playing Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Tom Sturridge?
I don't.
Who is that?
I don't know. Apparently he is a Tony nominated actor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer.
Yep.
What?
I know.
Isn't Dream supposed to be tall?
Yep.
Make her Dream. I don't mind that they cast her. She's great, but this is a weird fit for this.
I agree.
Plus, if this succeeds, you're going to want to do 75 issues into how many seasons of TV of Mike Carey's Lucifer, right? Mm-hmm. So is she going to be on for that?
Sure.
Vivian Etchimpong is playing Lucienne. Oh, okay. Lucian is going to be a girl.
Yeah, they did a couple of. Would you even call it gender flips?
Neil Gaiman stuff overly male?
Huh?
Was Neil Gaiman stuff overly male? I'm sure one of my friends could yell at me about how it was.
Largely. I mean, I think a lot of the N list were female characters, but I think a lot of the rest of the cast.
4 and 3.
But I think a lot of the rest of the cast of characters, it is heavily
Actually,
male.
they say that Despair is, is
genderless.
Well, no, that's right. Desire is
genderless.
Is genderless.
Or non-binary or
non-binary.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, whatever. Charles Dance is going to play Roderick Burgess. He's the guy who originally traps Dream, in the beginning.
Yeah.
That guy that's in 2 issues.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the money guy.
They paid Charles Dance.
They're making a big deal out of it, but I don't think he's going to be in it much.
He's not.
I Boyd Holbrook is going to play the Corinthian. I'm interested in this, and I know he's a white blonde guy, but I like Boyd Holbrook. I think he's been doing some subtle work in films where he's not the main guy. I'll tell you who he was.
Please tell me.
Pierce in Logan, the guy with the robot hands, who's just there to get stabbed by Daphne Keane, basically.
Okay.
But he's, you want this. You couldn't cast this as anybody else. The whole point of the Corinthian is that he is like, white America is going to eat your eyeballs.
Right,
so that's
right.
Good.
Yeah.
And then Asim Chaudhuri is going to play Abel.
Uh-huh.
And Sanjeev Bhaskar is going to play Cain.
Uh-huh.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
They are Indian actors, it seems like.
Okay.
I'm just judging by their names.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So Cain and Abel not being white dudes. That's
probably a good choice. Yeah.
Although they're not literally Cain and Abel. They're just like story dream versions of them, right?
I thought they were supposed to maybe they're reinterpreting it. I don't know.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
Because the whole point of Like Kane is that he was the host of the House of Mysteries EC comic, right? He was like, welcome to Kane's House of Mysteries. He was a Crypt Keeper character, basically.
Right.
Or whatever. Look, if this is our modern myth, it's going to be reinterpreted, right?
I think so.
I just didn't know that Lucifer is going to be 7 feet tall. All right, so that's what's going on there. That's still moving. No word on when it'll be released or ready to go, but it's still happening. I will say that the Sandman podcast is getting 2 more seasons on Audible.
Wow.
This is where James McAvoy is like, I am dream of the endless.
Honestly, is it bad that I'm kind of,
You
maybe I should check out to the podcast.
I'll tell you, a story podcast, not as great as you'd think.
Really?
I don't know. When they started doing Marvel podcasts, I thought I could maybe get into that. They did the Wolverine one.
Sure.
It's like, we're going to talk to this guy. You know, he's oh boy, he's short. What do you want, bub? Type thing.
Yeah.
So I decided to listen to a Black Widow one.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Really?
It was just a Black Widow short story that an actress was reading. And it was like, Natasha tightened the straps on her widow's bite bracers and thought, oh boy, here we go again.
So wait, it wasn't like a cast of characters.
No, it was just like one. Maybe
maybe
that's, I wanted it to be more and that's all that was offering, but. So,
like it was basically like an audiobook.
Yeah, it was just somebody,
Yeah.
And that's not what I was promised.
No. Because I thought like maybe it would be more like, I haven't actually listened to any of them, but so I don't know what I'm talking about. But like
Cool.
the Doctor Who stories, you know, that they do audio.
Those are a
versions
cut
of it.
above everything. So I don't
Are
think
they?
anything compares to those.
Okay. All right. I should listen to some of those.
Well, you should. Report back when you're done.
Okay.
You're going to hate me, but
Oh no.
we sandwiched the RIPs. We've got more to go as we leave the news here. We recently lost Cloris Leachman.
Oh, how could I have forgotten? Yes, I know. The fantastic Cloris
8-time
Leachman.
Emmy Award-winning actress.
That is insane.
Well, tied with Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
I know. But I read that too. But immensely talented. And I know she did so many things, but probably the thing that I will remember her.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Well, I wasn't going to say that.
Sorry.
Actually, I was going to say Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. She did a lot more than that.
I know. I remember her from the Beverly Hills, Beverly Hillbilly movies, and she was Wonder Woman's mom in like the pilot of Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
so,
she was.
She was fantastic in that too, and I was like totally bummed that she wasn't in more of the series because I would have totally showed up to see more of her and Linda Carter like interacting with each other.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, 94.
That's a pretty good run.
Not bad.
That's a pretty good run.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And then another great lady of the screen and theater, Cicely Tyson, has passed away at the age of 96.
Okay. I tell me what she was in.
Oscar-nominated, Tony Award-winning actress.
Wow. Okay.
And, spouse of Miles Davis in the 80s for a while.
Huh.
She was nominated for the movie Sounder. And she was, of course, in Roots and just a born in Harlem, 1924, a light of the African-American entertainment community.
That's too bad.
She's a fashion model.
Long run. Wow.
Yeah.
A lot going on. We'd all be so lucky to live to be 94, 96, like these two wonderful ladies. So.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm shooting for 100. But...
May they rest in peace. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, Betty White just turned 99, right? So
Betty White.
I don't know.
Betty White.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. What do you want?
Where was Betty White when these two died? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Where was she?
Whoa.
Can she account for her whereabouts?
Whoa. She's not killing anybody.
And what is this black cloak doing?
Yeah. Okay.
In her closet.
Wow. That's dark. That's really dark.
Yeah, it's black.
Baby, Sometimes I feel a little mad. But don't you know that no one alive...
What was the first Safdie's Brothers film that you saw?
I think the only other one I've seen, and I don't remember the name of it, so you're gonna have to help me, is the one that Robert Pattinson's in.
Good Time.
Good. Oh my god. Oh my.
Ironically named.
Yes. And so I had an idea of what I was in for.
Don't watch Heaven Knows What. That one's also very depressing. All their movies are depressing.
I think all of their movies are depressing. They're really well done. So I do recommend them, but just know what you're getting into emotionally, because not only are you going to be on the edge of the seat, you're going to be on the edge of the seat biting your nails, just anxiously anticipating, because it just feels like, Good Time. Is it Good Time or Good Times?
Good Time.
Good Time and Uncut Gems, which we're going to be talking about shortly here. I couldn't relax, because I was anxious for the characters, especially the main characters in both of the films, that they make really bad choices, and you just know if something is going to go wrong.
But they're not. Yeah. Well, I mean, what would you say is the driving force behind most of the films in their oeuvre?
What do you mean by driving force?
What drives the characters? What's the overriding emotion in their films?
They're striving for greatness. They're looking for the next best deal. They're trying to make their lives better, right? But like Adam Sandler's character, like if you look at his life from the outside, it seems like he's doing okay. Unlike Robert Pattinson's character.
He owes his brother-in-law 100 large, but
yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, if you didn't know that information,
they want to. I don't know if I can answer my own question, but the characters are stuck, and they want to rise above their station, if you will. And it doesn't seem unreasonable, but for whatever reason, I wouldn't call their films nihilistic. I wouldn't say that they're saying that you can't do that and the world is just a meat grinder that'll crush you, but the characters are crushed. Mm-hmm. And in a movie like Good Time, Robert Pattinson just wants, they're going to stupidly rob a bank. Yeah. That's not good.
No.
But they're in a position where he just wants his brother to be in a nicer place.
Yes.
And he feels like he can't take care of him because he's kind of a screw up. Mm-hmm. And, ultimately
he can't really.
He accomplishes that through a horrible series of events.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Many lives are ruined on the night of this good time. And you get that in this film too, in that a character, we're all Howard Ratner. We all want our lives to be better. We all want to take chances that we think that we can control. We all want to move up. And sometimes we're all, immune or blind to the pain, that we're causing other people in pursuit of those goals.
Yeah.
And what's really sad about Howard is, the tragedy, is that he's right. He's right about something that he couldn't have possibly, made a safe, quote unquote, bet on. Do you know what I mean? It's like they say that's why people love the movie Rounders. I think it's a stylish movie. I like it. And of course it introduced all of us to a game that we would lose money playing.
I don't
Texas Hold'em.
Do I know Rounders?
Matt Damon. He plays cards. He's going to play cards.
I don't think I've seen
If you can't spot the sucker at the poker table in the first 30 minutes, you are the sucker.
That sounds familiar, but I don't. Yeah, maybe.
And it's a movie about how, and he plays the Russian guy, the jewel thief, John Malkovich. Pay him his money. Blank face. You got a blank face.
I can't remember if I've seen it or not.
I think we met at a time when I was dumb enough to like that movie unequivocally. Thankfully, I've matured to the point where I realize that it's not great. But the whole point of that movie is that he should have taken the chance. The movie starts. We're going to compare this to. Okay, here's the new pitch of this show.
Uh-oh.
We're comparing Rounders and Uncut Gems.
But I don't remember it well.
It'll come back to you.
Okay.
Beginning of the film,
Uh-huh.
Matt Damon goes to play Teddy G, John Malkovich,
Yeah.
and he's going to play him in this big game. He wants to build up a huge stake, and he wants to do the World Series of Poker because there's like a 100G buy-in or something like that. You need money to play at the World Series of Poker. But he thinks he can do it because he's great at poker.
Yeah,
and
right.
he gets outplayed. He gets cleaned out, loses all his money. He's also in law school, in New York law school.
Mm-hmm.
And he loses everything. He loses the rent money. He loses his tuition money, and he has to basically, zero. He's at zero. He has to get a delivery driver job. He doesn't have this great life of leather jackets and
Right.
And all that stuff. And over the course of the movie, Edward Norton, his friend, who he used to play cards with, was in jail. He gets out. Now Matt Damon's on the straight and narrow, and Edward Norton is ready to get right back into the hustle.
Okay, sure.
And so he's trying to keep Edward Norton from finding himself in a situation where it's going to get the legs broken, right?
Right.
And over the course of the film, he has to make these more and more desperate moves until basically he ends up back at that table with Teddy G, playing for all the money just to pay off Edward Norton's bet
Right.
or his debt, so Edward Norton doesn't die. And spoilers, he wins, pays off the bet. Edward Norton takes off, disappears, and now he's got a bunch of money and he's going to quit law school and just go for it. Because that's his destiny, because he's that good. It isn't gambling. He's just that good. He says in the film, World Series of Poker, every year, same 5 players at the table. Why? Because they're the most luckiest people on earth? No, because they can play this, right?
Yeah.
And that's how Howard treats betting.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? He thinks that he knows all the angles. He thinks he can
Yes.
get it. It's a sure thing.
Right.
What every gambler tells themselves.
Right.
He wouldn't be in this situation if that was true.
I've lost track. So he owes money to, I don't even know how many people.
Oh, he owes money to everybody. And
Yeah.
the big debt that he has is the $100,000 that he owes to his brother-in-law, which he got to buy the stone. That's where he got he needed the 100 G's to buy
the stone.
opal.
And he thought that it was going to be worth over $1 million.
Which I think works in a screenplay. But I don't think the Safdies are trying to let him off the hook for being like a gambling addict and a guy that, because over the course of the film,
at all.
all these other people who you don't even know come up and
Yeah.
are like, you owe me money for this. You got to, I'm seeing you here in the pawn shop again.
Right, and some of it is like small potatoes.
Yeah,
like the
it's just
guy
totally small potato
who's
stuff.
like, "Oh, did you come with your muscle?" And he's like, "Yeah," and it's like, who
Yeah.
the heck is this
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah,
It looks
he
like
owes-
it's his brother or something.
He owes the guy like $10,000 and he gives
Yeah.
him like a watch that's supposedly worth 15, but it's like a fake.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's just like he's just, and like you said, I think you said it on air, maybe off air. He seems to have a pretty good life. Like
he seems to have a pretty good life.
a nice
yeah,
house.
I said it on air.
His wife, they're on the outs.
Yeah, he's
but
got 3 kids.
But he's got a girlfriend. The
Yeah.
kid's got a light up Ferrari bed. They're doing okay.
I know, and then she yells at him to go say goodnight to the son, and then he's watching the basketball game that he bet on. Instead of saying goodnight to his son, he could have said goodnight to his son, spent 5 minutes with him, and then continued to watch the game somewhere else.
That's the important part of the film.
I know. It's
But
not,
he wants.
But that's a part of it, right?
He wants to win. He wants validation. He wants more. He wants to get one over because he's probably had to think about the life that he's had to get to where he is, and all the scraping and grinding that he's had to do to get
have
to this
this
point.
nice
And he
house.
just wants to be past all that, and that's understandable.
It is.
But the things that he does to get that are insane. And the first time you see that giant guy talks like this,
Yeah.
and he's got a bullet scar on his neck.
Is
the
that
first time
what
you
it
see
is?
that guy, the guy says, "Where's the money?"
I know.
Oh, I'll get the money for you.
Yeah.
Oh, shallow. I'll get the money. But he's just like, no, it's fine. It's fine. This is how I win.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. And then all of his choices, they make me cringe. And the girlfriend, did he start cheating with her and then the wife found out about it, or were they on the outs anyways? And maybe it doesn't matter, but they start having a falling out, and like it seems like they're gonna break up, and he makes her move out and everything, and he's like maybe gonna get back together with his wife, and she's just not having it, and he's like, oh, she's trash, and then like he sees her the next time and she's got a tattoo of his name on her ass. And she's like, what? You don't like it? No, I love it. I don't deserve it. It's just like, oh my God. And it's like, you kind of realize him and his girlfriend are both like super ridiculous people. And she just like goes for whatever his plan is. And it's just like, yeah, let's do this. I'm in, baby, 110%. And you kind of feel like maybe she's trash, but maybe they kind of deserve each other, because I don't know.
Why are you so quick to judge? Just because your life isn't like theirs, they make bad decisions, but they're just trying to find,
I know,
happiness.
I know
right?
they're just trying to find happiness, and I get that. But I think one of the things that struck me is he makes these crazy bets, and I know why he's doing it, because he's already thinking about how much he's in debt and how much he has to pay people back on, like, this is going to work. This is my next plan. This is definitely going to work. But like you said, he doesn't think about how it affects everybody around him. He's got family. And when his brother-in-law and his hitman come there, he's calling his wife and being like, get you and the kids out of the house now, because he's worried that they're going to go after his family. And it's like, why did you do stupid stuff like this?
How to get to this point before you realized,
yeah.
my family
I guess I got family, and like they could get hurt.
Yeah.
So I guess that's part of, and maybe I shouldn't judge, but there is a.
They're not real people. You
I
can
know,
judge them.
but that's part of it. It's like, how do you have kids? How do you make this decision?
Well,
you're not thinking about that.
He wants to provide for those kids.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is that, the most important part of the movie is they go through all this stuff. He gets the opal.
Yes.
And
the black opal. That's important.
Well, it's important that it comes from Ethiopian Jews.
Yeah.
And this is a real thing too.
It is. Okay.
It's called like Beta Israel or something like that. There's just like a whole community of Ethiopian Jews.
Interesting.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah.
So he gets the whole thing. He thinks he's going to get, like $1.3 million or something like that. He doesn't get that because of machinations and things that happen, over the course of the story. And then he finally ends up in the room with Kevin Garnett. He's got the money, basically the money that he offered him at the start of the film, a little more. And it's all done. So it's done. He can pay the 100 large back. Mm-hmm. Well, there's VIG on it though, so who knows how much. But anyway, we get the idea that he can walk away from this even. Well, he got punched in the face a couple times, but he can walk away from this. It's all over. And then and then KG presses him, basically saying like, why do you do this? You put me through all this stuff. Right. Sure, you're going to make money, but like, think about the Ethiopian guys. Like, I'm black, they're black. You're exploiting them.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to hear that.
No.
And it's almost because he was challenged, in that,
I think that's exactly it.
Or he's reminding him that he's not making as much money as he wanted to off it, but he's like, "Come on, KG, this is what you do. I do what you do.
Yeah, right.
You're
this
a hero.
Is just my
I'm a
way
hero.
of doing it.
This is how I win. You want to win by 1 point. You want to win by 30 points, right?
Yeah, right.
So let's do it. Let's see what they got. Let's do this.
I know.
We're gonna do this. Let's bet this money. I'm gonna bet all this money on you.
And KG's like, what? What are you
He's just
doing?
like, what are you talking about?
And it's like, at that point, he's not mad. He's just kind of like wants to leave and like get out of the situation.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just like, you're your own brand of crazy, and I want no part of this. But I think you're absolutely right, because he was pressed. He was like, well, let's make it bigger. Let's make it more interesting. That sort of thing.
He just wants to be to be respected. He wants to feel like he won. It's look, maybe this is a little far, but we talked about updating things for a new generation. This is like the death of a salesman of our generation, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Woman or saleswoman.
Uh-huh.
Has anybody ever done Death of a Salesman, but just like flipped it? So it's like
I don't
Wilhelmina
think. I don't
Loman?
know. I haven't seen that. Maybe.
I sense that you don't know anything about Death of a Salesman.
That is not true. That is not true. I know a lot about Death of a Salesman. We read it in school. I've seen many productions about it. I had.
Can you imagine Dustin Hoffman playing Howard Ratner? Come on. This is how I
maybe
win.
a younger
This is how I
Dustin
win.
Hoffman. Maybe a younger Dustin Hoffman.
You want to win by
Sure.
1 point or by 30 points.
Sure. Why the hell not?
What is Eric Bogosian doing in this?
Who does he play?
Talk
again?
radio. He's Talk Radio. I know you know Talk Radio.
I know. Who does he play in this?
He's the brother-in-law.
I don't know. But he's scary as hell. He gives you the evil stink eye, and you're like,
He's got those eyes. I don't know if he's got anything else, but he's got those eyes.
I actually felt bad for him
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
For a couple different reasons. Like,
What do you think his motivation was? Why is he doing this? Because you pointed it out yourself. It's like, this is family.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like $100,000, but just he's not going anywhere.
You know where he freaking lives.
You're having your Passover. You're going to see him next Shabbos. Like
yeah, right.
He can't get away. So like, why not just?
He just wants his money sooner. I don't know. Maybe
Plus, if
he's
you're-
under hot water.
Plus,
We're
if
not
you're
seeing...
Howard, why don't you go? Yeah, okay. So your brother-in-law's a loan shark, but why not go to him and be like, "Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I got this opal, right? I'm going to get a lot of money off of it. So you give me this money, I'll double your money. I'll come back with, $200,000.
Well, doesn't he try reasoning with him at the beginning of the movie? He's like, why are you sending guys after me? I'm about to make one of the biggest deals. And he doesn't call him back. It's like he doesn't.
But because for some reason, this character really does not like this guy.
No.
So why do you think that is?
Why doesn't his brother-in-law like him?
Yeah.
Maybe this is the
Clearly he doesn't like him.
Well, maybe this is like the umpteenth time this has happened.
I suppose.
It seems like a pattern. But this is the weird thing, because I thought maybe the brother-in-law was Adam Sandler's, because it's his in-laws, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was his.
And he is not. I mean, he converted, but he is not. Of the people.
Oh, Bogosian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So
I mean,
it's
they
not,
don't get into it, but I don't think that he is.
But he is not Adam Sandler's wife's brother. He's a brother-in-law, so married one of her sisters or something like that.
No, he's. Oh yeah.
Because
right.
Because isn't Gooey her dad? Because Gooey was like, this chump.
Yeah. There's there's a ton of sisters, so it's just one of the sisters.
It's just one of the sisters. Because I thought, maybe if it's the brother, he knows something is up, and so then he doesn't like him. But maybe if it's the brother-in-law, he knows that something's not going right with the marriage, so then he doesn't like him. But if it's the brother-in-law and not the brother, I don't know they would care as much.
Yeah,
maybe that's just me.
I'm not sure what it is. I don't know, because obviously. I don't know why he's related, because he could easily just be a loan shark.
I think it makes it worse
in Howard's world.
Yeah.
But it's specifically, he is somebody who is come into the family from the outside. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, maybe we're just spitballing, but maybe he, is a badass, loan shark guy, but he's also maybe he takes the idea of the family so seriously, going so far as to convert, to Judaism. Right. And then he sees Howard just living his life and doing whatever he wants. And he's like, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But why do you then send if it's your family, why do you send your goons after Howard at his daughter's play?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is messed up, man. And Adam Sandler calls him out on it, and then they lock him in his trunk without his clothes.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell? And then the goons at the end, did they just have? I'm just calling them goons because I don't know their names. Eric Bogosian's the brother-in-law's toughs, basically.
Yeah.
Like, did they just have enough and they just decided they were going to turn on him, or they were like, enough of this? It's like they were going to get paid. They were going to get paid money, and I know they got locked in between the doors for a really long time,
yeah.
and that really sucked.
Well, they were disrespected. You know, it's about respect. Howard wants it. They demand it just by their very nature and existence as guys who beat people up for.
I know, but
not
like
paying up. Yeah, I don't know. What I like about Safdie Brothers films is that every character is a character. Nobody is there as a device.
No.
Nobody is there except for Natasha Lyonne and Tilda Swinton are in this movie. It's just
up.
It's just their voices.
What? Where?
Tilda Swinton is the lady at the auction house that we hear over the phone, and I think Natasha Lyonne is when he calls Garnett's management to try to get a hold of Garnett, and he's like, "I'm a very litigious person. I'm going to call. I'm going to do this." She's like, "Okay, all right. Well, we'll see what happens."
Oh, I kind of wish I could have seen either one of them or both of them.
But like
everybody,
even like the little she was a little girl, the young girl that Robert Pattinson like hides out with in Good Time, and then like ends up taking her on part of this spree. Like everybody's a character, and I like the fact that the two guys who are just basically there to beat up Howard are also the one guy gets a character arc.
Yeah, the one guy does.
In that, if you're paying attention, you know that like, oh no, Howard's dead the second he opens that door.
Well,
like,
he pulls the gun out.
There's absolutely no way that they're going to let him walk
initially
out of there alive after this.
So
he's either going out of the window or he's, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's not like Howard thinks he's a tough guy, but it isn't just about him. It isn't about him being right. It's not about him proving to everybody that he was right about the three-way parlay bet or that he can make all the money. Like, he is messing with things.
Yeah.
And he is burning bridges and he is causing problems that he will not be able to talk his way out of and solve.
I know. I felt really bad for his brother-in-law because his toughs, like, not only go against his wishes, kill Howard, but then like basically are like, you're going to sit and watch us rob this place or we're going to kill you. And then he's trying to get away because you freaking killed his brother-in-law in front of him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want any part of this. And then they shot him too. And I feel bad. And
think how Gooey's going to feel.
I know. Well, see, that's just it, right? Like, because you were saying like he was going to break even, right? Once he got the money from Garnett,
more or less.
But he still owes $190,000 to Gooey.
Yeah,
he said, "I need a couple weeks."
Yeah, it is what it is.
So I don't know. I kind of hope, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I hope his mistress like gives some money to the family, but I kind of feel like that's not going to happen.
I don't know if Gooey's going to get paid, but he would have gotten paid because he sold the stone twice. Gooey paid the auction house. The auction house will take their cut, and Howard will get the rest. Yeah. And Howard will get the money back to Gooey.
Yeah,
and then
I see what you're saying.
Make up, whatever the cut of the auction house was eventually.
Yeah.
But now I don't know what's going to happen.
No, I don't know either.
What do you think about what if the Safdie brothers are definitely? Here's the thing. I was going to make a joke about how they're going to get tapped to do the Silver Surfer film or something like that.
What?
Right? But I don't think they will because nobody really respects them. I think part of the
I don't get
lack
it.
of Oscar nods is that they're just not. They make these films outside of Hollywood. They are essentially independent films.
Mm-hmm.
A24 is a.
I like A24.
Is an independent distributor.
Yeah.
The handsome older gentleman who keeps coming on to Julia Fox is a guy named Wayne Diamond, and he basically paid for the movie. And nobody really knows who this guy is.
The guy with the great long gray hair and the glasses.
Apparently, he was like was a big name in like the garment district for 30 years. And now he's, like independently wealthy and retired.
You're
and
kidding.
Somehow the Safdies, they have all these like avenues for like funding their films. And they found this guy and he's like, great, I'll give you a bunch of money. I just want to be in the film. They're like, fine.
Sure.
No problem.
Do you want to be a creepy rich old man? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure.
And I just can't help but think that
That's
if
so
this
funny.
had, you know, been through some major studios, you know, if Miramax was still around or something like that, or the Weinstein Company, this would be getting all the awards.
I just don't it. It's a great. Anybody who hasn't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a great film. There's just so much.
Not as good as Hubie Halloween, but it's pretty good.
You be Halloween. Come
He'll
on.
never do a serious movie ever again. That was it.
Well, never say never, but I can understand him being pissed. But I mean, you shouldn't do it for the nods, but he should have deserved. I mean, he deserved to get, a nomination.
Yeah.
And I think the Safdie brothers did too. Like, this is well written, this is well directed. I think this was, well cast and acted as well.
Plus, if you don't like The Weeknd, you get to see him get the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah, so there's that.
It was 2012, so like The Weeknd might have been doing small shows in New York at that time, but this is
Okay.
a little retconny. And I read a thing where they explained why it's specifically in 2002, because Garnett was in the finals in
2002?
Or sorry, 2012, yeah.
Okay.
Garnett was, and the Celtics were in the finals, but I think they lost. But they had footage from him in
From
a
the
finals game that
finals.
they could use.
I see.
And they had this idea, had been in the works for around 10 years. They'd had this idea about this, jewelry shop guy who tries to make it big. And they had said like, oh, well, maybe it could be LeBron. Is that too late? Or maybe we could set it like earlier and, say it's, somebody else.
Sure.
And it worked out perfectly that like Garnett had wanted to like, I think at one time he had wanted to like get into to pull a
acting.
Shaq,
Sure.
but he just never really did it. But he had already done like on some on-camera stuff, and they thought, oh, he can talk, he can like do lines, and he can act okay, and so it's perfect. Well, it's 2012.
I think
Finals,
he did a decent
Kevin
job.
Garnett. Yeah, he was great.
What is the? This is terrible. What is the name of the guy who was selling the watches and like
Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith Stanfield? Like, I think he did a really good job too. Like,
Yeah, do you?
No.
I'm sick of Lakeith Stanfield. He's
Oh.
everywhere.
Okay. I don't know. I was kind of pissed at the character too, because it's like, what the hell are you trying to pull, man? Like, you said you're gonna help me get this gem back, this opal back, and you're just like leaving me in the lurch.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like it's just this tiered,
Yeah.
stepped. It's the layer cake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Lakeith Stanfield's character, wants to be he wants to have as much money as Howard, and
Right.
so, but Howard is a white guy, but he needs people to get to Slick Rick or whoever it is, and so Lakeith Stanfield has those connections, and so, but he feels like he's being disrespected by
I get
Howard,
it.
who's
I get
just
it.
trying to hear the results of his colonoscopy, and
No.
and I mean, like, he's a terrible person anyway, because he
He is.
pours the vitamin water in the fish tank.
I know. You freaking killed animals.
So, but yeah, but anyway.
Arr!
But there's another movie where he's the main character,
Yeah.
and Howard's being unreasonable to him.
Yeah, I understand. Well,
And there's a movie where
Howard
The Weeknd is just trying to bang Julia Fox. Come on.
I know. Well, I don't understand what was going on there, but yeah. So why? I want to know why.
Yes.
Why? Does
Final
he,
questions.
Why does he have an apartment in the city?
It's a pied-à-terre.
What does that mean?
It means feet on the ground, and it's, when you live outside of the city, but you need to be close to it, and you're wealthy, you have a...
So basically, he's had this probably for a long time, and like, oh, I have to work late, so I'll just sleep at the apartment.
Well, I think it's mostly to house his side piece, but yeah.
Yeah,
And he lives next to John Amos.
I know.
I don't know the story behind that at all, but it was funny.
Like, the Safdie brothers must know him somehow. And
Yeah, I
Safdie
wonder
brothers,
if John Amos really lives there. I don't know.
Maybe he does, or they just are like, hey, we're doing this movie. Do you want to be in it?
There's no way he does. He's going to be in Coming to America too.
Is he really?
Yeah, well, he was in the first one.
Okay. Well, there you go. But I thought it was kind of.
He's like, my kid wants you to bathroom. He's like, no.
I know.
And that's it.
I liked it. That was good. But I felt bad that his son was like, who is the hot woman who you have living in your apartment?
Yeah.
And then he was
See,
like,
the son had an arc too.
I
The son is
know.
like, oh, wait a minute. There's
something going on with mom and
adults
dad.
have lives that I don't understand.
Yeah. And the son, it was like, oh my God. He was like, was it mom? Like, that was his question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, honey, no, it was not mom. But, mom's hot, but no.
There's also there's a sequel where Idina Menzel goes to Italy or something like that and then gets a groove back.
Come on.
She was a middle-aged wife whose husband was shot to death in a jewelry store robbery.
Oh my God. But she still looks hot in her bat mitzvah dress.
I just got to get away from these kids.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So she's going to let it go all over Tuscany.
Wow.
Okay, look, I don't make movies. Yeah, Few great.
Yeah.
Everybody's great.
Yeah.
No complaints.
The girlfriend was good too.
Yeah, she was. She's not anybody. She's
not anybody.
She basically
Cal.
lived that life. Like she was a club girl, from what I understand, and she was. I think she was like a, like an alternative model for a while, and then I don't know where they found her, but yeah, she's not necessarily like an experienced trained actress, but
I thought she did
played
well.
that role great.
Yeah.
Even the guys at the pawn shop had an arc because they're like, "Oh, here comes Howard again. Come on, Howard. What is it with the rings? Okay." And then later on, he goes in and they're like, "I don't know about you, Bubby. Are you okay? What's going on? I'm worried about Howard."
Well, his face was all messed
yeah,
up.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like trading his Knicks ring, and they know how much that means to him. So then they're like, "What? Are you okay?" Like they actually asked about his well-being.
Yeah. He did though. Like the second, like KG gave him the ring though, like he was off to that pawn shop.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
Not before he took a picture of it and sent it to his son, but I know. And then we saw him. He pawned that Michael was it Michael Jackson on a cross?
Yeah,
Like-
that's the one guy who doesn't get resolution in the film.
No,
The guy who had the Michael Jackson piece.
well, the guy who had the muscle, the ridiculous muscle, like they didn't really get resolution either. They came back and were like, I need to talk to Howard, and they were just ignored.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I know. And it's just like, ugh, that guy's never getting that horrible
He's
necklace back.
Not getting his money back.
No.
Yeah, the poor guy with who's a club promoter. I presume. I assume that he set up the weekend thing, and Howard knows
Probably.
him just because he deals with like rappers and things like that.
Yeah.
So he came to get his
Well, apparently he knows all the DJs in town.
Michael Jesus piece
Yeah, right.
for the weekend.
Right.
He's not going to get that back.
Nope. Nope.
He can
That's gone.
He can go down to the pawn shop if he wants.
Yeah, right.
Ah.
It was just like every decision he made, I was like, why are you doing this? I couldn't believe he pawned Garnett's ring, but it's like he needed the money right away, you know?
And it's, they're so good, the Safdie brothers, at racking up that tension.
Yeah,
higher
it doesn't
and
go
higher.
away. It
Yeah.
doesn't go away.
And they do it with, they don't have what you think of as it's not like a needle drop soundtrack. And it's not even scored necessarily, but they use diegetic audio, and also they do use like a soundtrack to just sort of pump up that tension. And then they even use like they're the part where the door first gets stuck about halfway through the film when KG comes to the thing again.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get the door stuck. It's like, get the thing, and they're banging on the thing, and it's just you just get like. Nothing's even happening. KG's just going to come find out about the opal or something like that. But you're on edge, and it sets you up for like the next part where his life takes that next turn downward.
Yeah, exactly. And then also you're just like, one of the guys who's with KG is like, I'm claustrophobic. Like,
Hey
get
man,
me
I'm
out of
claustrophobic. This huge guy's like, I'm claustrophobic, man. You got to get me out of here.
Yeah, right. So it's just like, there's urgency to it.
Yeah.
And who wants to be trapped into a tiny little glass box? Not me.
I don't know what they're working on next, but I can't wait to see it.
They are definitely, I think, filmmakers that I'm excited to see their work. And so, yeah, I think it'll be whatever it is, I think
They're
it's
also actors. They
probably
got to
pretty
stop
good.
acting.
They got to stop acting.
Benny's going to be in Paul Thomas Anderson's next movie
Oh yeah.
for a fairly fourth build. So he's high up there.
Okay.
Stop that.
One of them
Stop
was
it.
one of them was in Good Time. He was Pattinson's
Benny.
brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he did a fantastic job.
There's a story about that too, where they looked around. They really cast around for, I think, a guy who had a disability.
Yeah.
And because they wanted to play it straight, and I think they ran out of time and they couldn't find anybody, and so they just said, "Oh, Benny will do it."
Well, I think he was. He
was great.
He did a really great job. I think it was sensitively done and well portrayed. So
And he's out for a lot of the movie.
he is.
They kind of sideline him.
And I think that within the movie that makes sense because what Robert Pattinson is doing is ridiculous, and like he's trying to get his brother back because of some stuff that happened. I don't know if we want to get into it right now, but like, so all of this stuff is happening without his brother because of things that happened earlier in the movie. So I mean, it makes sense.
Let's divert really quickly before we close into this next Paul Thomas Anderson film, which sounds crazy.
Okay.
It's called Soggy Bottom, and it depicts
Why does that just remind me of the Soggy Bottom Boys?
Yeah, it does.
Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depicts a high school student who becomes a famous child actor in the 1970s.
Huh.
So it stars Bradley Cooper and Betty Safdie and Cooper Hoffman, who's
that?
Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid.
Shut up.
Which is funny because Philip Seymour Hoffman played a former child actor in... Is it that Ben Stiller movie where he plays Along Came Polly?
God, I
remember where he's
I don't think I saw.
He's a failed child actor, and he's playing. He's in a community production of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Wow. No, I don't know. Okay.
That'd be funny if we were able to talk about that for the next minute or two. But since you don't remember,
I don't know that I saw that.
Mazel. Good things.
Has Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid been in any other things?
Don't know. I don't think so. He's a cute little bugger.
How old is he?
He's young.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I didn't know. I knew he had kids. I just didn't know that any of his kids were actors. So, okay. Yeah. So, a young kid. All right.
He's either, that's what PTA's up to. Okay. That or, I guess maybe he didn't like making a movie with Tom York.
What?
Did you ever watch that?
What was that?
It was on Netflix.
No, I don't think
it was a short film called Anima, and it starred Tom York, and it was like a musical type thing.
No, maybe I should watch that.
Well, ask music guru Tara.
I'm sure Tara has seen it because she is a huge Radiohead.
It's called Uncut Gems. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
See it, or else.
Or else I'll elbow you in the neck.
Well, enough of physical threats. Now we threaten to return next week talking about something else. Uh-huh. But until then, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all your social media spots. Also, if you're not subscribed to the show on your listening platform of choice, why not do that?
Yeah.
Do that.
Easy.
Yeah. And then while you're in there, give us that little rating and that little review.
Yeah.
Because that's how our loan sharks, the algorithms, tell us how we're doing.
That's right.
You got 60% on the VIG. And it's coming due. It's coming due this Monday.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got to get those ratings up there.
Yeah.
So do that. Give us a review and give us 5 diamond-encrusted Furbies.
Yes. What? That was terrifying. That was absolutely terrifying. But I
love that scene, though, because it shows why people come to Howard. I'm surprised that, I know that he's running games and stuff like that, but I'm surprised that Howard isn't more successful because he's got his pictures on the wall.
Yeah,
of famous people.
Famous people come in.
Kevin Garnett's coming in.
Yeah.
And he's good with people. Like
He's very good with
he entertains
people.
them. He really wants them to drink water. Maybe don't push the water so much, but we do see that he is good at what he does. He's good at this, but he just takes it too far.
Yeah, he's an extremist.
But I appreciate him beating up the weekend, though. So yeah, give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate that. We'll be back next week to talk about something else. And until then, we're signing off. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning. Keep the geek fires burning!